Hey guys, it's Dan from DisneyInfinityCodes.com with a customization power disc guide. We're going to take a look at two power discs today from Marvel's Devil Dinosaur, a certainly obscure and interesting comic book about a demon dinosaur with forgotten skies and Dinosaur World, the two power discs in Marvel's 2.0 Disney Infinity. So here we go. We're now in the toy box. This is one of our customization theme disc texture tests, and we're going to take a look at all of the fantasy terrains, including the flat terrain, the side of the terrain cubes, and then also the sky dome. So we've got, of course, Falcon, and we cloaked him. We put a little bit of invisibility on just to keep him out of the way, so it doesn't get too much in the way of the power disc terrains that we want to take a peek at. So here we go. This is fantasy terrain number 1, a big old prehistoric pine tree of sorts. So here we go. We're going to take a quick little peek around. We're going to swoop around it. Some really awesome music. Really love this, the music that is in this sky dome. Very fun, very adventure filled. So here we go, and this is fantasy terrain number 2. Another smaller tree with some weird little cactus-looking growths out of it. You got a little bit of some Tarzan vines there. Really, really fun. Definitely a nice fit for any kind of jungle you might be trying to pull off. Take a little swoop around there. All right, and here is fantasy terrain number 3. Got 2 trees there. Nice thing about this power disc is all the height that all the fantasy terrain pieces offer. So we've got a nice tall tree here. And then, of course, at the bottom, we're going to just hop down here and take a closer look, because at the bottom there is this awesome Triceratops skeleton. Wraps all the way around, the whole spine. Definitely a cool piece. Nice little touch. We certainly love when power discs have all these nice little themed touches in the terrain, and they're not just trees and houses. So here's fantasy terrain number 4. And then this tall piece here is fantasy terrain number 5. Of course, this fantasy terrain piece, before it's transformed with the power disc, is the really, really tall pine tree, and every disc takes advantage of that, and so we've got a really, really tall prehistoric pine. Definitely a cool tree. Lots and lots of height with this, which is awesome. All right. Now we're over to fantasy strips. So this is fantasy terrain strip number 1. This one's really cool. We really, really like this because it has this awesome, almost like a slide, this long, you can climb up it. It's a sideway growing tree with a bit of moss on it. Really fun. A nice little piece that could work perfectly in some platforming, some, any kind of interesting adventure that you might want to plan out inside of a jungle. So this is fantasy strip number 1. Just trying to frame it there without Falcon's glowing wings in the way. And here's fantasy strip number 2. Got a few little trees, a little bit of foliage, some fern-looking, some fiddle fern-looking things growing out of the top of them. You got some nice big growing ferns. But what's cool about this one is another dinosaur fossil, some bones. Looks like a big T-Rex bit the dust here, and we got his nice skeleton and skull there. Definitely another nice dinosaur touch. So if you're looking to put a little bit of dino flair into your toy box, this is definitely the disc to pick. This is fantasy terrain corner number 1. Fun. Another terrain piece that has some flat trees that you can jump up on and run around on. Again, another nice thing to add in if you're trying to do some platforming in your toy box with some jungle foresty themes. This certainly will fit in. And then you've got a nice tall tree and a little patch of dirt there. So, and all those little weird prehistoric cactusy growing things. Oh, trying to jump up there. Well, can't jump, fly. Awesome. And up next is fantasy terrain corner number 2. So we're going to run over there. And this one's really great. It's another nice, really tall tree. A nice thick base with the tree trunks there, and some more fern, big, thick, growing ferns. So there you go. There are the several fantasy terrain pieces Gonna get a 360 there, a Fantasy Terrain number 2. Fantasy Corner number 2. All right. Oop. I just love when you accidentally tap the Speedy Flight button. All right, so now we're going to fly up a bit and just take another quick look. All 9 pieces of Fantasy Terrain. Now we're going to fly over here. We like these little mountainy outcroppings because they allow you to get a good peek at both the side and the flat textures that these Power Disc adds. So the side definitely has like a little bit of a rocky overgrowing with vines, dirty dirt kind of thing. But we really, really love the flat texture for the terrain pieces because of all these awesome dinosaur prints. You've got some grass. The closer you are, of course, the big dinosaur prints, but as you and they're kind of faded, but as you pull back and fly up, the dinosaur prints are certainly more visible and clear. All right, so now we're going to fly up to our last little button here and take a look at the Sky Dome, which is really great. A nice full forest of... Hold on, there we go. Let's click on it. There we go. Fly, Falcon. Just going to take Falcon out here just a little bit to get a good look at the Sky Dome. Now let's drop down, frame up the whole dome in the screen. Here we go. All right, so let's take a little bit of a 360 tour around the Sky Dome for Forgotten Skies Power Disc. Awesome little river waterfall. I love Power Disc Sky Domes that have some animation, some texture, some depth, some movement in them. It keeps the Power Disc, keeps the background alive with your toy box, which is great. Got an erupting volcano, which is certainly awesome. Definitely a pretty sweet addition to any kind of background for your toy box. And otherwise, it's just a bunch of mountain ranges, some great wispy clouds, and you've got a nice little valley that the river runs through with a bit of a fork in the valley. So there you go. There's a 360. The sun, of course, is out and shining bright. We love the bright Power Discs where you can get to see all the characters and all the terrain pieces